So it has been a terrible, horrible, no good, very bad week for conspiracy theorists. Normally, there would be no good reason to show you a clip of the reality distortionist Alex Jones, but this was really something.
I'm like literally here like watching a family member die, like 30 years on air, 27 years as operation, 15 years this building, and I'm literally, when I know I leave tonight, they're gonna shut us down. Maybe it's tomorrow, the next day. I just want people to know, I love you, I believe in you, I believe in humanity, I believe in my grandparents, I believe in my parents, I believe in humanity. I just want to stop these people. They gotta be stopped, we gotta stop them. So, at the end of the day, we're gonna beat these people. I'm gonna try to be dramatic here, but it's been a hard fight.
That was Alex Jones, one of the country's biggest conspiracy theorists, crying, at least we think it was crying, on her show last weekend about the fact that his program InfoWars might finally be coming to an end. For decades, Jones and InfoWars have pushed insane conspiracy theories like 9/11 was an inside job and the U.S. government controls the weather. But perhaps Jones's most pernicious and disturbing conspiracy was his claim that the Sandy Hook massacre, a school shooting that killed 20 first graders and 6 adult teachers and school staff members, that Sandy Hook was staged.
Sandy Hook, it's got inside job written all over it. Sandy Hook is a synthetic, completely fake, with actors, in my view, manufactured. All I know is the official story of Sandy Hook has more holes in it than Swiss cheese.
Alex Jones pushed lies like these about Sandy Hook for years, which resulted in his followers harassing and tormenting the families of Sandy Hook victims. So those families sued Alex Jones for defamation, and they won. Jones was ordered to pay those families nearly $1.5 billion in damages. But in 2022, Alex Jones declared bankruptcy, effectively guarding his money from the Sandy Hook families. Until tonight. Tonight, Sandy Hook families accepted a proposal from Alex Jones to liquidate all of Jones's personal assets. This court-supervised liquidation will allow the families to benefit from the immediate sale of Jones's assets while keeping their claim alive in the event that Jones accrues more wealth in the future. And all of this means it could finally be the end for InfoWars. So Alex Jones is being held to account, literally his bank account. Reality has really set in this week, and not just for Alex Jones. This is the Epoch Times. It is a news outlet that started decades ago as an anti-Chinese Communist Party leaflet for the Falun Gong, the fringe religious group. You might know the Falun Gong because of the billboard advertisements for their performance group Shen Yun, a show that travels the country explaining their version of pre-communist Chinese history through song and dance. But at some point in the past 10 years, the Epoch Times became less about Chinese sociocultural views and more about just plain old conspiracy theories. The Epoch Times pushed anti-vax content, claiming vaccines caused widespread injury and death. It pushed seriously niche content, like this documentary revealing a secret world government plot to cull the population and force survivors to eat bugs. But for years now, the Epoch Times has claimed content like that has been wildly successful. They put up billboards across the country declaring the Epoch Times as the #1 trusted news. In 2021, the Epoch Times claimed they had grown the site's revenue by 685% in 2 years. It all seemed pretty fantastical. Because it was. According to an indictment unsealed this week in the Southern District of New York, the site's content was not the moneymaker here. Not the bug plot. Prosecutors allege the real increase in revenue was coming from a massive money laundering scheme run by the Epoch Times chief financial officer. Since 2020, the CFO has allegedly been buying millions of dollars of prepaid debit cards at 70 to 80 cents per dollar from criminals on cryptocurrency exchanges. I mean, nice work if you can get it. The Epoch Times CFO is being charged with bank fraud and conspiracy to commit money laundering and could face up to 30 years in prison. All of this is negative press for the Epoch Times and positive news for the health of our information ecosystem. And to that end, to the triumph of reality over conspiracy, there was also news on this front.
Let me begin by asking a very simple question. Do we know the truth about what really happened in the 2020 election?
That was far-right activist Dinesh D'Souza's conspiracy theory-filled documentary, 2,000 Mules. When that film debuted, Trump hosted a screening of it at Mar-a-Lago, and Rudy Giuliani and Mike Lindell, the pillow guy, they were all there in attendance. It is a very schlocky film that alleges thousands of people were paid to dump Biden ballots in drop boxes across the country and steal the 2020 election. It is a complete fabrication, but the right wing went bananas for it. To this day, the film 2,000 Mules is a central part of the MAGA revisionist history of 2020. And last week, after a lawsuit was filed against the media company that distributed that film, Salem Media Group, they stopped distribution and they issued a formal public apology. So a pretty good week for reality and a pretty bad week for conspiracy. And that doesn't just matter for the health of our public discourse, it also matters for the health of our democracy. Because it wasn't just 2,000 Mules that was pushing the big lie. All of these outlets were.
If you've been following the media over the past week, you probably think that the election is over, but that is actually not the case.
The Epoch Times was one of the first outlets to really go hard on the big lie. Right after the 2020 election, its homepage became an election challenge tracker, following legal challenges and fake elector events state by state. As for Alex Jones, not only did he push the big lie, but Alex Jones actually helped organize and fund the Stop the Steal rally where Trump spoke on January 6th. The big lie is maybe the most influential conspiracy theory of our time. And I know, yes, there are plenty of other outlets and even sitting U.S. officials who still push the lie. But these outlets crashing and burning this week, conspiracy theorists and distortion profiteers finally being held accountable, that matters. And it comes on a week that has been equally bad for the people who tried to actually use the big lie to overturn the election in 2020. This week, 3 more Trump allies were indicted in Wisconsin for their roles in Trump's fake elector scheme there. And today, in Arizona, Trump's former chief of staff, Mark Meadows, pleaded not guilty to his charges in the election interference case in that state. Donald Trump's federal criminal indictment on the 2020 election may be frozen, but that doesn't mean that everyone has to give up trying to bring this country back to reality.